Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss.
It's true that Samsung unveiled just about all of its most important new products in San Francisco before Mobile World Congress even started. That said, the company did show up to Barcelona with a bunch of devices in tow. The Galaxy Fold, unfortunately, I hate to tell you, is behind glass, so we're not able to touch that. I'm personally very crushed, but we did get to spend a little more time with the forthcoming Galaxy S10 5G, and it's actually a little more interesting than I was originally going to give it credit for. Let's take a closer look. First off, to quickly recap, this is a variant of the Galaxy S10 that feels basically just like a Galaxy Note 9. They're basically the same size. This thing is a little bit thinner, but I don't think you'd notice that difference too frequently. More importantly, there are some key hardware differences. Obviously, as the name implies, there is 5G, and Samsung actually built up a very local 5G network here at MWC. We've got the devices here in the Samsung booth and the actual networking gear, that 5G equipment running across the way in Hall 2. That's not a huge distance, and these are definitely less than the ideal conditions, so we haven't been able to get a great sense of what 5G performance looks like so far, but we've gotten some really cool demos that give us a sense of what we'll be able to do with 5G once you're actually on that network. There's a really cool baseball demo, for example, and I gotta tell you up front, I'm not a baseball person, but the ability to pick a camera on the field and rotate around the players as they're leaping into action feels remarkably powerful. This is just cool enough that I would definitely consider trying things that I might not have been into before, just because the power of 5G makes them more accessible and more compelling. Beyond that, the camera setups on the front and back both have an additional sensor. There's a time-of-flight camera baked into both sides, and that allows you to do, among other things, live bokeh video, which kind of, at this point, sounds better than it looks. When you're shooting with that rear camera, it's actually not too bad. We shot with a few of our YouTuber friends. Honestly, it didn't do the best job of isolating the person in the foreground from the background, but it worked more often than not, and if your subject isn't moving around a lot, it's actually really quite nice to look at. I wish I could say the same about the front-facing camera. I have been told that the software here is not final, which kind of explains a lot. When I tried the live bokeh feature in selfie mode with that front-facing camera, my videographer Brian behind me was perfectly visible, even though he should have been blurred out pretty dramatically. Again, this is non-final software, and we're not expecting the Galaxy S10 5G to hit store shelves for at least a couple more months, so that gives Samsung time to iron out some of these kinks. With all that said, if you've been waiting for a 5G phone, the pack is pretty limited right now, and there's an argument to be made that Samsung's is among the most polished. Sure, you could splurge on a Huawei Mate 10 if you live outside the US and have a great time with a wallet that is considerably lighter than it was before. Or you could go for an LG V50 ThinQ and use some of these features, but in a much less interesting package. For now, we're gonna have to wait and see how all of this stuff shakes out, but the Galaxy S10 5G does seem like the strongest of the pack. But who knows how many companies will release 5G devices in the next few months. This landscape could change entirely, and we're going to spend the rest of our time here at MWC 2019 trying to figure out how that'll happen.